All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Sin City. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League INDYCAR Series in action tonight at Vegas for a special event. Yeah, that's right, 150 laps in Sin City in the INDYCARs. A little special treat for you here on a Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us. Who's going to take home the victory here, man? Oh, I don't know. There'd be any number of guys. Let's take a look. It's live right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, some IndyCar action for you tonight on a Saturday, 150 laps at Vegas, and it is live right here on TurnLeftTV. All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in here and joining us on TurnLeftTV. We got a good one here for you tonight, a little special event in the IndyCars. So we are doing Las Vegas tonight, man. What a great track, fun track. This is going to be high speed and just flat balls to the wall, man. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, always a good one. And these Indy cars, man, just stick to it like glue. 150 laps here tonight, 325 miles. And just doing a special event. What we're trying to do is get the Saturday Night Thunder, our stock car series, off a week from what we have on Friday nights. Guys, we're really not wanting to run the same track in 2 nights in a row. So sticking this race in the middle of the season and pushing that Saturday Night Thunder back 1 week. Nonetheless, a little treat for you. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator, and this is going to be a fun one here at Las Vegas. Already got some chatters. Andrew Quartley, oh my God, look at that. Kitty system in here as well. We are running the IndyCar 2014 right now. We are going to have a special event on Memorial Day weekend. And that is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the night before the Indy 500, we'll run the brand new IndyCar Dolaris, the IR18s for that. So that is official content. But nonetheless, we got 100 laps for you on May the 28th, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great Euro-friendly time. And hopefully we'll see a lot of our friends from across the pond out to celebrate the Indianapolis 500. Tonight's race brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you want an rFactor 2 server or hosting your website or online store, please give EliteHostingUSA.com a look. They can find you a server in your area of the world as well. And that's who hosts our website through highoctaneracing.net. We refresh the page. There we go. Please join us over at highoctaneracing.net. You get a quick link to our Discord channel. Also, what the current schedules are, who's leading what in the points. Also, links to the broadcasts. And who's running what throughout the week. rFactor 2 times there as well. But come on out and share in the sim racing experience. That is highoctaneracing.net. Of course, good way to get a hold of us on Discord as well by clicking on that link on the webpage. Ready to go to the qualification session. Again, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. Peace out there. Andrew Quartley is here, man. Oh, my God. I haven't seen that guy in forever. Hopefully he's doing okay. MJ Almeida all here as well to cheer on, I think, Ricardo Almeida. That's just an educated guess. Thanks to all those folks who come out. Please hit that thumbs up button. Share my videos with all your friends. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, it's right there, man. Just give it a little love tap there. If you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, it's way up there in the banner of the channel. And then also, please help me out by clicking on one of those Fanatec links down in the description of this race. If you're interested in purchasing something through them, please use my link. Thanks to all those folks who have done so. Come out and watch the races. And we got a special one for you here tonight, man. It's going to be great. And that is an IndyCar race here at Vegas. I'm excited about that. Givaldo out here. He's racing with us tonight, so he's going to be getting after it. Saturday Night Thunder will be back in action next week in this time slot. 110 laps, race number 4 of the season, and we'll be at the Lady in Black, Darlington. We ran that in the Bushwhacker Series last night, so we decided to push this series back one night, slip in an IndyCar race for fun race, and then we get these 2 leagues on Friday and Saturday nights off sequence, so that helps with a little bit of the motivation. Not racing the same track 2 nights in a row. Then the Bushwhacker Series will be back in action on May the 13th. Be live right here on TurnLeftTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be at Memphis International for a great short track action. Don't want to miss it. It'll be broadcast live on TurnLeftTV, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's on May the 13th. That's a Friday. And these races are great, man. Looks like we have switched over to the qualification session. Paul Brown is out first, looks like. Preston Hassel out on the track as well. Paul Brown's got a lot of practice laps in here at Vegas in the IndyCars. .198 is that time. I love how they categorize these things here. There we go. 24.009, Paul Brown's second lap. Take a look at Preston Hassel. So Hassel is second on the grid. Will Dunbar currently third. Will Dunbar is currently third on the grid. .392 Will Dunbar's time. Ricky Emerson next up. The 24.009 is the top time. Ricky Emerson getting his first lap in. Emerson looks like he's backed off his qualification attempt. Lucas Siffer out on the grid. Siffer 24.389 jumps up to 6th on the grid. Ernan Gio. Good to see Ernan out with us tonight, and he is currently 5th on the grid. So it looks like we jumped to him after his last lap. Givaldo Spindola currently 7th on the grid. 44.455 maintains that 7th position. Arthur Vieira in the red, white, and blue machine. Looks like he is up to 8th on the grid. .24.258 for Arthur Vieira. Now up to 4th on the grid for him. Thiago Gomez, he's been out early as well. Getting some practice laps in, and he was here really early. There's a crew of those Brazilian drivers, and they are crazy about IndyCars, man. These guys flat out get in anything and drive, and they just love racing. Some of our best friends at HORL, or some of our Brazilian brothers. 24.413 for Thiago in that first lap. He's got a little bit of work to do. .24.324 up to 7th on the grid for Thiago Gomez. Jesus Barbecue Iglesias out on the track. Jesus right now in the 11th position. A little bit of work to do. Down to the inside, hugging that inside line, maybe dipping below it a little bit. 24.463 for Gomez. Gomez is in the 7th position. Iglesias still in 11th. .24.489. Iglesias not really improving that position. Ricardo Almeida out for his qualification attempt. So Iglesias still maintaining that 11th position. Now we're taking a look at Ricardo Almeida. One of those late qualifiers. Paul Brown to the top of the grid there. His qualification attempt. He's still the top time. Preston Hassel second, Madu third, Vietas fourth, Symphony is fifth so far. Almeida coming off the turn down the front stretch. Let's see what this lap is. 24.378. Almeida got a little work to do. He's in ninth. He wants a better starting position. You don't want to be back here in a huge pack of cars early on. These guys on cold tires, that's when bad stuff happens. This looks like a fast lap. So far, those two sectors, he's a little bit faster coming off turn 4 through the tri-oval. 23.908 to the top of the grid for Ricardo Almeida. So that's where he wants to be. Almeida says, that's good enough for me, man. I'm to the front. That's where I want to be. And we'll come in here and get a little bit of a beverage. So Ricardo Almeida with the fastest time. So it looks like the qualifications are over. So Almeida with that late qualification session run, he captures the pole and crushes Paul Brown's dreams of starting on the pole here at Vegas in the IndyCars. So it looks like we got a 10-minute warm-up session. And again, thanks so much for coming in here and joining us. This is TurnLeftTV, and I always appreciate folks coming in and joining us and enjoying the broadcasts. Please share my videos with your friends and show them what it's all about. All right. Thank you for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. Little special event for you tonight. 325 miles, 150 laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Special event IndyCar Series race in the Saturday Night Thunder time slot. So getting geared up maybe for a special event in a couple weeks, and that is Saturday, May the 28th. We'll be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway the night before the Indy 500. It's home for me, man. It's only about 50 miles away to the south of me. And we're going to run that brand new IndyCar Dallara IR18 official mod. Like to come out and join us for that race. That'll be great. We're going to run that into the 3 p.m. time slot on Saturday, May the 28th. And it'll be live, broadcast live, right here on TurnLeftTV. Let's take a look at the qualification results. Ricardo Almeida, Paul Brown, Preston Hassel, Gary Madu, Arthur Vieta, the top 5. Lucas Sifner qualifies in the 6th position. Will Dunbar, 7th. Thiago Gomez qualifies in the 8th position. Ernan Gio, 9th. And Givaldo Spindola qualifies in the 10th position. Qualifying in 11th is Ricky Emerson. Jesus Barbecue Iglesias qualifies 12th. John Stanley, Staple Gun Stanley, qualifies in the 13th position. And about 5.5 minutes left in the warm-up session. Well, let's take a look at the track here at Vegas. Of course, it is one of those 1.5-mile cookie-cutter tri-ovals, and this thing is just flat out, man. Very, very fast here tonight. Banking in the turns, 12 to 20 degrees progressive banking. And I think off turn 4, there's a little bit of a, I don't know, man, kind of an elevation change there. It can break that car loose if you maybe stay in that outside line. That can be an issue later in the run when the tires get used up. But that is Las Vegas. Let's take a look at the keys to the race here tonight. My keys to the race. Be patient, man. You're going to be running in traffic and high speed. You're going to have to be patient with people. They're going to do some bonehead moves probably. Just be patient. Race the track. Make sure those pit stops are on point because, man, I'll tell you what, is that you're carrying a lot of speed when you come off pit lane, and you do not want to speed on pit lane. Make sure you use your speed limiter, and that way you'll keep your car out of trouble. Pick your spots on where you're going to make a pass. It's going to be tough to pass here tonight. Try to hold your line and stay in a lane until you get a good clear opening to be able to drop down or move up wherever you're going to make some passes. Those are my keys to the race. Thanks so much for joining us. Peace to everybody out there. Andrew Quartley and MJ Almeida chatted up. Will D in there as well. Good to see him out. I think he's out on the track here tonight. Couple minutes left in the warm-up session. All right, boys and girls. Oh, boy. Hold on. Strap yourself into that seat. Make sure you got your helmet on, your Hans device, because this thing's going to get fast and furious. This is the INDYCAR Series, high octane racing league style, and we got a special event for you here tonight. A special stream, special race, just to have fun. Hopefully these guys are going to remember that. So here we go. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 150 laps tonight. And this is going to be just balls to the wall, man. Hopefully these guys keep it caution-free. That'd be great. Get a lot of green flag pit stops in.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All right. Take a look at the starting order here tonight. Ricardo Almeida starts in P1. Paul Brown starts in the second position. Preston Hassel starts in third. Gary Madu will start in the fourth position. Starting in the fifth position, we got a little bit of, there we go. Art Vieta, Lucas Sinfler sixth. Will Dunbar seventh. Thiago Gomez starts in the eighth position. Starting in ninth is Ernan Gio in the ninth position. Givaldo Spindle is 10th. Ricky Emerson 11th. Jesus Iglesias starts in the 12th position. Starting in 13th will be John Stanley and Claudio Bardelli Jr. How about that? He shows up here. So being our 14th driver, he's going to qualify in the back there.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Looks like these guys are, we got a little bit of a restart here because somebody stalled their car here. We'll see what they do. So right now we are in a holding pattern here. Somebody got kicked, it looks like. So typical rFactor 2 stuff sometimes. These guys are so they're going to be in the warm-up session here for just a second.
grid, you're all non-essential.
All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Looks like we're ready to rock and roll now. We did lose somebody, but we got 13 drivers. I don't think we're going to go through the starting order again. So you see Almeida, Brown, Hassel, Madu, the first two rows. Artur Vieira, Lucas Sifter, 5th and 6th. Will Dunbar, Thiago Gomez, 7th and 8th tonight. Vieira and Sifter, 5th and 6th. Or excuse me, Erna Gio and Javaldo Spindler, 9th and 10th. Ricky Emerson and Jesus Iglesias start in 11th and 12th. You see John Stanley, Claudio Bartelli Jr., 13th and 14th. All right, Almeida, the inside line, will lead the field to take this green flag. Paul Brown starts in second up on the outside line. He's got a lot of laps here, so definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with here tonight. Of course, we got that champion down on the inside on the pole position, Ricardo Almeida. He does not want to let these stock car guys get the best of him. Pace car is in. Here we go. It's Vegas. Here in the IndyCar Series, High Octane Racing League style. We're off the grade. Almeida there clearing Paul Brown. Got out of the back of Ricardo Almeida's machine. Paul Brown's got to run on the outside line. He wants to try to take this lead early on. Got a little bit of a run there on Ricardo Almeida. Almeida staying on that inside line. Paul Brown using the outside line. Does he have help up on the outside? Then he's going to bail on Gary Madu. Gary Madu running in the third position. So already getting racy up front. Look at this, man. We got some good racing back here as well. Simpner, Hassel, Vieira, Gomez all racing together. So a good clean start here. And we got a great battle here now up front. Almeida, they're reclaiming the lead. Brown in second. Madu is in third. Simpner using or picking up that lead position in that second pack. He's running in the fourth position. Preston Hassel, fifth. Vieira is sixth. Gomez in the seventh position. See Hassel, they're going to the outside. Got to be careful there. You're going to lose that spot if you can't get somebody to go with you, and he is. He's going to lose a spot now, as it looks like Artur Vieira slips through. Vieira using that inside line. They're still getting racy. Hassel's still stuck up on that outside line. He needs to get down there. Now he finally tucks in, as Gomez giving him some room. Vieira looking like he's a little racy here right now. Looking out of the front of Preston Hassel's machine. Artur Vieira on the outside or the inside. Hassel's not going to use that draft on the outside line. These guys getting tight right now. They're getting after it. Preston Hassel wants that spot back. Now he's back up to the fifth position. Vieira now back to seventh. He's back to the back of that line now. So these guys getting after it here. Great racing there out of those four guys. Simpner, Hassel, Gomez, and Vieira. Jesus Iglesias bringing up the third group. He's running in the eighth position. Bartelli Jr., Will Dunbar, Erna Gio all running together. Iglesias leading up this pack. Everybody sort of behaving right now. Good nose to tail. Everybody just sort of figured it out. These guys are starting to run away. Gary Madu might have lost the draft here. He's running in the third position. Those guys working together in front, and he may end up losing this draft if he's not careful. Gary Madu running in the third position, and he is going to be probably going to fall within in the clutches of this group of four here pretty soon, led by Lucas Simpner, or excuse me, Preston Hassel. Simpner in the second position, but he's got a little company now. Thiago Gomez working, trying to get by Lucas Simpner. Look at that. That's a great tight battle there. Gomez, Simpner. And don't forget about Artur Vieta in this mix. Vieta now getting by Lucas Simpner. This guy's just getting nose to tail here. They'll run down Gary Madu pretty quickly. He is now falling off that front two. Almeida and Brown getting away from the field a little bit. Two-way battle here. Almeida is in first. Paul Brown in the second position. This guy's running away just a little bit. John Stanley, I don't know whether he's lost the draft or what, but or had a bad start, but he is now 10.8 seconds back to the race leader, and he needs somebody to draft with. Ahead of him is Givaldo Spindola in the 12th position. Those guys need to start working together there somehow. Will Dunbar and Ernan Gio here running together. These guys have raced a lot of laps together in the stock cars. Ernan Gio leading that little crew. Running in 10th. Will Dunbar is in 11th. Ordelli Jr. and Jesus Iglesias. Ordelli Jr. down to the inside, getting by Jesus Iglesias, taking over the 8th position. Jesus now back to 9th. It's a good, clean battle there. We've been caution-free here so far, 13 laps in. Paul Brown getting bored back there. He's trying to maybe send a message to Ricardo Almeida. I am here. I can drive these Indy cars as well. Almeida there holding him off. Paul Brown looking for a way here in this 77 car, getting by Ricardo Almeida. Almeida's not going to be able to give up that position too easily, that's for sure. I know it's in his DNA, man, to hold on to that thing, but he's also a racer that realizes that it's about the long runs here. And right now it looks like we're on par for a good long run. These guys, I had a feeling, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, when I decided to put this IndyCar race in this time slot, primarily drawing a lot of guys that typically race stock cars on Saturday nights, that the racing would be clean. And so far, that's what we've seen. These guys know how to get these cars around the ovals. And there's just an etiquette. There's just a sense, a different sense that you have to have when you do oval racing, regardless of whether it's Indy cars or stock cars. And it's a similar transition. It's similar things you got to do. As you see Paul Brown down to the inside here, now side by side. He wants to take over the race lead. He gets by Ricardo Almeida, so Paul Brown now to the race lead. As I was saying, is just a craft that you learn that transfers between these two series, stock cars and the Indy cars, that you don't really see being able to be transferred from like road course racing, GT3 racing or some sort of Formula One, that type of thing. I mean, there are some things that are going to transfer, but just the etiquette of what happens in ovals, how you make passes, how you run in packs, how you decide you're going to pit, and communicate with others. We do mandatory communication. If you're going to be pitting, you'll announce that you have to pit a lap before. And that gives guys that are in the pack at least an understanding that things are going to be changing pretty soon when you come off turn 4 to come down the pit lane. And everybody just sort of knows that. These guys know that. They race a ton of ovals, and that's why we've seen so far this clean race here, 20 laps in. And we got a good solid race on our hands here. Gary Madu running in the 3rd position. 2.5 seconds off the race lead. He's out there by himself right now. Still good pack here. So good pack running here, led up by Preston Hassel in 4th. Vietta's in the 5th position. Gomez 6th. Simpler is in 7th. John Stanley now closing in on a little crew here. Battling Will Dunbar, and he gets by Will Dunbar, so John Stanley now picking up a spot. Ernan Gio up on the outside as John Stanley getting by Ernan Gio. Givaldo Spindle has gotten by as well. So something's going on with Ernan Gio. I don't know if he made contact with the wall or what, but this car is starting to fall back. Look at that, good side-by-side. Will Dunbar in the inside, so Ernan Gio definitely got something going on with that car. He has lost 3 positions. And I think he might have made contact with the outside wall here. We'll see. This is a little bit earlier. Oh, there was more contact there. It might have been Will Dunbar making contact. Didn't seem to affect his car too much. Maybe he just hit flush on those wheels. But, wow. John Stanley now getting by Givaldo Spindola. Look at this. John Stanley here starting to make some noise. John Staple Gun Stanley now up to the 10th position. Givaldo Spindola now back to 11th. So good pass there for John Stanley to get in the top 10. Paul Brown and Ricardo Almeida running 1-2. They got about a 3.3 second lead over the 3rd position car of Gary Madu. We got some great racing going on here. Givaldo Spindola in this mix. He and Will Dunbar battling it out. Good racing there with Givaldo and Will. Looking out at the back of Givaldo Spindle's machine, you see Will Dunbar. He is running in the 11th position. Get a little bit of a run here on Givaldo. Might have some help with John Stanley. Those guys teaming up. Givaldo using that outside line. A little bit of shot you get there using the outside. Will below that, he's sort of oscillating right there. So sometimes that you do that, man. Take your eye off the ball just a little bit. The car starts oscillating. You got to spend some time getting it gathered back up. John Stanley running in P12 on board here with him as he runs behind Will Dunbar, Givaldo Spindola. Again, these guys nose to tail right now. A little less smooth out of this crew than what we have up front here. And this, collectively, I think these guys spend a little less time, tuning up this car like the front group. We know they've spent a lot of time tuning up the car here. Andrew Quartley saying, been nice to see you again and join. You're welcome to join us anytime, Andrew. Definitely good to see you again and talk to you, and hopefully everything is going okay for you this year, and we'd love to see you back out on the track. You're welcome anytime. So, one of our good friends from across the pond there, Andrew Quartley, joining us. So we're starting to see some pit stops, I think. Starting to see some pit stops. Gary Madu indicating that he is going to be making a pit stop here. So Gary Madu on pit lane. Oh, no, Gary Madu spins. Gary Madu spun coming into pit lane. Gary Madu's lost his wing. He's spun. And, oh, my heavens. Caution flag not out. He's not all the way around. Gary Madu's had some trouble. No caution flag so far. Oh, man. And we're starting to get some pit stops out of the race leaders here. Gary Madu had some trouble. Take a look and see what happened to Gary Madu as those guys coming down pit lane. Gary Madu just too fast coming off. Transition there, maybe a little bit of late, and then, wow, he gets into the wall. Into the wall, so and then he gets that car another bit of contact with the wall, and he's lost that front wing. And that thing's not going anywhere. So we just saw that he just come down off the track onto this transition, and it broke loose on him. Man, what a tough break there. He's having a pretty decent night running in the third position. Lucas Sinfner, the race leader, as these guys make pit stops. Paul Brown, Art DeVieta on pit lane. Taking service. Actually looks like they're finishing up their pit stops, coming back out on track. See Art DeVieta returning to the track as Lucas Sinfner makes a pit stop. Will Dunbar coming down pit lane. Jesus Iglesias finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Lucas Sinfner on pit lane. Iglesias is fifth. Lucas Sinfner, the leader, as after making pit stops. Looks like Preston Hassel may have had some trouble too coming down pit lane. So Preston Hassel's had some issues. Let's see what happened to Preston Hassel as he comes off the track to come down pit lane. He might have had some issues as well. I mentioned to those guys that they need to practice pitting. It looks like he may have sped coming down pit lane. So Preston Hassel gets caught speeding and decides that he is retiring his machine. Well, Bardelli Jr. is now the race leader. Here 39 laps in. We've been caution-free. We've got a couple guys out of the race there. They've had some troubles making green flag pit stops. And I'll tell you, I suggest that anytime you do IndyCars and you do oval racing, you better practice pitting because it is a different beast than what you see with the stock cars. Things happen in a hurry. Almeida may have had some trouble here. It looks like he is off the pace. So Almeida may have sped on pit lane. I'm not sure what's going on with Ricardo Almeida, but that car is 19 seconds off the race lead. So he's basically at the tail end of the lead lap. As we take a look at Claudio Bardelli Jr., he's the leader. And I think Almeida is about a quarter a lap ahead. A couple turns ahead, but he is 19 seconds back. A little bit, just entered that turn up there, so he's about about a straight ahead of our race leader. He wants to definitely stay on the lead lap. Look at this Jesus Iglesias, Arthur Vieira here batting it out. And, Iglesias getting by. Vieira now back to the 5th position. Ricardo Almeida now catching up to Will Dunbar. Almeida now getting around, putting Will Dunbar back to the 11th position. Almeida is in 10th. So he has had some issues, I think, on pit lane. So green flag pit stop, stretching out the field. As our race leader is Claudio Bardelli Jr. Paul Brown is in 2nd. Sifner in the 3rd position. Jesus Iglesias 4th. Arthur Vieira is in 5th. That Vieira and Iglesias battle is not going away. Arthur Vieira says, I do not want to run behind you in 5th. I want that 4th position back. And he's using that outside line, getting by Jesus Iglesias. And those guys run a lot of laps together, man. There's probably a little bit of communication between the two of those guys. Two guys racing from the great country of Brazil. And probably some working together. Bardelli Jr. the leader, and Brown and Sifner running in P2, P3. And these guys are going to run down. I think they're going to run down Bardelli Jr. here pretty soon. Looking out of the front of Paul Brown's machine, he's running in P2 at Claudio Bardelli Jr. Almeida continuing to make some moves here now. Closing in on Givaldo Spindle, and he's up to the outside line. He wants to get by Givaldo. Good battle there. Givaldo down to the inside. He wants to hold on to that spot. Coming off, it looks like Almeida's got the advantage. Spindle and Dunbar running in the looks like 10th and 11th positions. Paul Brown's caught Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's to the lead, and Sifner wants to get by as well. Working on the low line and getting by Claudio Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. now back to 3rd as Sifner is in 2nd. Paul Brown the leader. So you see these stock car guys that do ovals a lot, able to keep this car competitive. Now leading the race. All 3 of these guys do a heck of a lot of stock car racing. Iglesias and Vieira running in 4th and 5th. So the field kind of strung out a little bit. These guys getting maybe a little aggressive right now. Getting bored. Running in 4th and 5th. Vieira running in the 5th position in that 14 car. .52 laps in. We got a lot of laps to go here, but it looks like green flag racing, doesn't it? It's got a good green flag feel to it now. Got 2 cars out of the race. And some guys trying to get back in the race. Almeida had some trouble on pit lane. See that pretty decent little gap there between that first crew and that 2nd crew. So guys are stretched out here on the track. And we're watching Paul Brown lead the race as he's starting to roll up on some lap traffic. Looks like Will Dunbar is 1 lap down, but we're starting to close in maybe on Givaldo. Just ahead. And that's Will Dunbar. Just close in and put him a lap down. Take a look at this. Thiago Gomez, Ern and Gio battling. Gomez down to the inside, using a little bit of the draft, getting by Ern and Gio. Givaldo Spindola just ahead, as well as Ricardo Almeida. Almeida's not been able to run away from these guys. He caught them, but he needs them to try to catch back up to with the pack. You see one more there with Thiago as that car looks like it's getting a little tight. Almeida's leading this group. He and Givaldo need to work together here to try to close in on John Stanley, who's running in the 6th position. Stanley out there by himself, and he does not have any drafting partners, so if they settle down behind him in 7th through it looks like 7th through 10th running together, they'll catch him pretty quickly. This front crew has figured it out. Now maybe even Will Dunbar has tagged onto the back of this group, and that's going to help him out as well, even though he's a lap down. There is no lucky dog in this series, in this league. The rules package, if you are a tail end the lap driver, you do get your lap back. If you're behind the pace car, you still get your lap back, but no lucky dogs, so you got to fight for it. Will Dunbar, running in that 4th car in line, is running in the 11th position. Take a look at Artur Vieira here. He is running in P5. He and Jesus Iglesias nose to tail. Here's 62 laps in. Take a look at Luca Sifner, Claudio Bardelli Jr. Sifner running in the 2nd position, or excuse me, 3rd position, is Bardelli Jr. running in that red and white car, it looks like. They're all in blue and white car. So we got 4 drivers up here together. Brown, Sifner, Bardelli Jr., and then also the lap down car of Will Dunbar. That front 2 has sort of figured it out a little bit better. They are rolling up on some lap traffic, though. Looking out of the front of our leader. As you take a look at Hernan Gio, he is wanting to stay on the lead lap, but he's about ready to go a lap down. It's the tail end of the lead lap. He would love to stay in front. Say, hey, man, I can pull you guys. Let me lead this. Paul Brown goes to the outside and gets by Hernan Gio. Sifner tags on there as well. He gets by as well, running in the 2nd position. We're starting to hear some guys maybe coming down pit lane. Spindola on pit lane. Gomez on pit lane. The race leader, Paul Brown, indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So pit stops underway. And again, this stretched out the field here. Sifner stays out. Paul Brown wants a good, solid pit stop. Well, 50 miles an hour feels like a snail's pace here with these Indy cars. Simpner down to the race lead. Thiago Gomez indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane, I believe. Looks like he has finished up his pit stop. So far, haven't heard anything out of Lucas Simpner. He's still out there. He's been known to save gas. He's out there, got a little bit of help. There goes his drafting help. And that's Ernan Gio coming down pit lane. So Ernan Gio, he's had some trouble getting on pit lane. Locked him up. Ernan Gio locked him up coming down off the track and might have made some contact with the wall. You see right here, and I think he's going to get on the brakes. Look at that right there, and he's had some trouble. Ernan Gio had trouble there getting on pit lane. Now he's going to have some damage to repair. So that's when things can happen, isn't it? Lucas Simpner still has not made a pit stop. He's got a lap there on the crew, I believe. Now here he goes. He's coming down pit lane. Lucas Simpner on pit lane taking service. That, I'll tell you what, man, Ernan Gio coming off the track there and getting into the wall, that was a pretty lucky, really. It could have been a lot worse for him. And he's back out on the track running in the 11th position. Simpner now finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Bardelli Jr. running in the 3rd position. Paul Brown is in 2nd. Those guys nose to tail, wanting to close in on Lucas Simpner, who has had a little bit better in and out. Simpner now has about a 2.5 lead on those guys, and he's got a little bit of drafting help out of Will Dunbar. And we've been caution-free. Halfway point here in the next couple laps. Take a look at Thiago Gomez in this mix. Thiago having a pretty good night. Behind the 8 ball just a little bit, running in the 8th position. See Ernan Gio up on the high line. Thiago getting by on that low line. Ernan Gio running in 11th. He is 2 laps down. Lucas Simpner leading that crew, but we've got some, we got P2, P3 in this mix as well. So we've got a couple lap down cars, big pack of 5. And you got to be careful here. Big pack of 5, and a couple of these guys are a lap down. Will Dunbar, he's running in the 10th position. He's 1 lap down as well. So this is where it's going to get crazy right now, as you see Paul Brown now using a little bit of draft to get that lead back. Lucas Simpner now falling back to the 2nd position. So they used the draft. They were able to run down Lucas Simpner. And now we've got a battle, a 3-way battle for the race lead. That 3rd car in line, it'd be the 4th car in line. He's actually 3rd on the grid, and that is Claudio Bardelli Jr. Paul Brown, Lucas Simpner, Claudio Bardelli Jr. And looking out of the front of Paul Brown's machine, Thiago Gomez, who is on the tail end of the lead lap. So he does not want to go a lap down, that's for sure. No lucky dog in the IndyCars. So Thiago Gomez, the front runner in this pack, is actually in 8th. And he is the tail end of the lead lap. He wants to stay there. Paul Brown, the leader, is a second car in line. Lucas Simpler, Claudio Bardelli Jr. in this mix as well. Will Dunbar and Givaldo Spindola. Givaldo up to the high side as Will Dunbar using this low line, getting by. Taking over the 9th position is Givaldo back to 10th. And they're still arguing down the trioval across the start-finish line into turn 1. They still haven't figured it out. Looks like Dunbar's going to end up getting that spot. But Givaldo tried to use that outside line. Now he's diving down to the inside line. Be caution-free, 82 laps in. As Paul Brown is our leader. Thiago Gomez, the lead car in that pack, is running in the 8th position. He's the tail end of the lead lap. Simpler starting to look a little racy. He's running in the P2. Behind our race leader, Paul Brown. Bardelli Jr. running in the 3rd position. Take a look at Art Vieira here. He's leading up a little pack as well. He is running in the 4th position. A little pack there running with him. See Givaldo and Will running in a pack. Those guys on a little bit different lap. Givaldo running in the 10th position. Will Dunbar running in P9. Vieira leading that pack. He is in P4. See Paul Brown to the outside. That's going to leave the door open for Lucas Simpler, but where's he going to go? This is going to get interesting right here. These guys are racing like it's the last lap here. They were on lap 86, and this is going to get crazy. Paul Brown wants to get by the lap car. On board here with Thiago Gomez. He doesn't want to go a lap down, so he's fighting. Paul Brown runs Lucas Simpler into the trioval a little bit, below the white line. Paul Brown wanted that spot. He squeezed back in. Paul Brown trying to get by Thiago Gomez. I think I just chilled, to be honest with you. Thiago Gomez does not want to give up that spot. He is holding on with his dear life, man. He does not want to go a lap down. No lucky dogs. So if there is a caution flag, you see Lucas Simpler now popping out to the outside. He's going to give this outside line a look. He's got to run. Who's Bardelli Jr. going to go with? On board here with Claudio Bardelli Jr., Lucas Simpler just ahead. And this is getting racy. Bardelli Jr. might be in the catbird seat here if these guys get into one another. Thiago Gomez up there as well. Now Thiago running in the 8th position. Bardelli Jr. out of the gas. Ernan Gio is the last car in this line. He's actually running in the 11th position, 2 laps down. He's just watching this action. Watching these guys get after it right now. Gomez leaving the door up on the inside. That's going to give Paul Brown a chance to go by. Is Gomez going to try to tuck in? See Thiago Gomez up on the outside. Oh, he gets into the wall. Thiago Gomez contact with the outside wall. Oh, there's contact right there. Simpler touched the apron, drifts up, and gets into Gomez a little bit. Claudio Bardelli Jr., he's watching this as well. Gomez holding on to that position. didn't lose position in the running order, but was able to get back up there and tuck in behind our race leader, Paul Brown. And that got wild. That could have been disastrous for the leaders. Cooler heads prevailed. These guys just know how to run stock cars, how to run Indy cars, how to run ovals. This is why we're 92 laps in and we're caution free. It's something I've been saying for a long time to, we've been running, we ran a season or two of Indy cars in a time slot where we have a lot of international drivers. And typically those things are caution filled. Looking at one race last season, it was 14 cautions. Now we're out here tonight, and we're 93 laps in, and we've been caution-free. In this time slot, with a lot of these guys that are oval racers, there's just, there's a skill set that these guys have on these tracks. And, not to take anything away from the road course racers, because those guys certainly have an advantage when we get to road courses. It's really no different. Look at this. Claudio Bardelli Jr. making a pass there on the inside, getting by Luca Simpner. So Bardelli Jr. now up to P2. He's going to leave the door open for Simpner, maybe take that spot back. Ricardo Almeida and Arthur Vieira here battling it out. Almeida down to the inside, it looks like. He gets by Arthur Vieira. Almeida up to the 4th position. Vieira is in 5th. Bardelli Jr. is 2nd. Paul Brown, the leader, though. Thiago Gomez sandwiched in between them. He is running in the 8th position. John Stanley and Jesus Iglesias getting after it. These guys battle in the stock car series, especially on Friday nights. John Stanley on the outside, Jesus Iglesias on the inside. They're still battling. Jesus Iglesias getting by. John Stanley, I think, indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So John Stanley making a pit stop. I think Ernan Gio might be, he might have had some connection issues, so he's fallen back. He's had some connection issues, it looks like. Paul Brown, the leader, as Thiago Gomez just behind him in line, is actually running in now the 7th position.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
We got a yellow flag. First yellow flag of the night. 98 laps in. So a first caution flag. Something's happened. I don't know if Ernan. I think he was having some connection issues. May have got disconnected and it caused a warping issue. Take a look at Ernan Gio here. Yeah, he definitely warped. He warped up into the wall. And then that DNF, I think, caused Arthur Vieira to come around here. We'll take a look. Yeah, right there was a warping situation, and Arthur Vieira gets caught up in that. That is wild. This was a secondary thing, I believe. So, yeah, it looked like a warping thing with that yellow car warped backwards. Man. So, no driver fault there. What's going on? So it looks like they had a couple guys have some lag situations going on. So it looks like a little bit of lag there has caused a couple drivers to crash. It's actually looked like a couple guys warped backwards, so we've had a little bit of an incident there. That's unfortunate. A pretty good race there going. We've got, 96 laps in without a caution flag. And it was caused by a warping incident. So Lucas Sifner is our leader. Sifner is the leader. Iglesias is second. Almeida is third. Bardelli and Brown. Brown's on pit lane. He's got some damage he's dealing with. So pretty extensive damage for Paul Brown. Looks like he has fixed the car coming back out on track, but definitely has some damage to that machine. So nothing anybody did wrong. It looked like there was a warping incident from Ernan Gio. He's racing from Argentina, so sometimes we get a little bit of connection issues.
The road will be open this time.
Well, don't forget, we've got some good stuff headed your way next week. Memphis International on Friday in the High Octane Racing League Bushwhacker Series. Racing starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 135 laps. Race number 7 of the season, and this is going to be a good one, man. Haven't faced this track before in the Bushwhacker Series, so I'll be excited to bring that to you. Flag-to-flag coverage right here on TurnLeftTV on Friday, May the 13th. Saturday Night Thunder will be back in action next week at Darlington Raceway in this time slot. It's race number 4 of the season, 110 laps, and that's going to be a fun one. Saturday Night Thunder, always a fun series in Darlington. The brand new version, Mike Schreiner's scratch-built track. Still a work in progress, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you'd like to come out and join us, this is Beat the Broadcaster night. Yep, that's right. I'm going to be out at the Lady in Black on next Saturday. Very special event coming up on May the 28th. That's right, IndyCars in the 3 p.m. time slot on Saturday, May the 28th. The day before the Indy 500, we're going to do a 100-lap race from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're going to use the brand new IndyCars, the IR18s released by Studio 397. So if you're interested in racing in that, there's our Discord channel address. Come on out. And I expect to see a lot of those folks who are part of our Discord wanting to get in this one. So Euro-friendly time frame, and it should be fun. That's coming up on the 28th of May, and it'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV. Ricardo Almeida out to the front. Gomez is in second. Bardelli Jr., Brown, Sifner, Iglesias. And that is 3rd through 6th. single file restarts in the IndyCar series. So you have 6 cars on the lead lap. Got a lot of cars out of the race there. They got caught up in that warping incident. There are actually 2 separate warping incidents, it looked like to me. So Ricardo Almeida will lead the field to take the green flag. He always seems to find a way to get that car back up front, huh? Now to the inside. Here we go, back to green. Bardelli Jr. wasted no time getting around Thiago Gomez to the inside. Gomez says, I don't think so. I'm going to fight back. Gomez fighting back and holding on to that spot. Bardelli Jr. can't maintain that second position. Gomez says, I don't think so. I am going back by. On board here with Thiago Gomez. See Claudio Bardelli Jr., Paul Brown wanting to get back up there and challenge Ricardo Almeida. He's got a strong car here tonight. Givaldo Spindola to the outside. Givaldo running in the 7th position. He is 1 lap down. Almeida the leader. Gomez in 2nd. Bardelli Jr. 3rd. Paul Brown in the 4th position. Jesus Iglesias kind of out there by himself right now in that red and white car. He is running in. He's in the 2 car, running in the 5th spot. Lucas Simpfer is off pace a little bit. He is running in 6th. He might be on fuel save strategy. Who knows? Out of him. Kind of an unorthodox, kind of a strategy out of Simpfer usually, but it works. You may have something brewing. Almeida up on the wheel in 1st. Gomez in 2nd. Bardelli Jr. 3rd. Brown in 4th. Iglesias is in 5th. On board here with Jesus Iglesias. Running in the 3rd position, Thiago Gomez just ahead. Ricardo Almeida is the leader. Coming off turn 4 through the tri-oval. Going to leave the door open, and Gomez going to leave the door open for Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. to the inside, and he's going to take this spot. I tell you what, Bardelli Jr., you leave the door open for him, he is going through it. And he's going to get by, and now Paul Brown going to try to slip through. So Bardelli Jr. taking over the 2nd position. Gomez losing another spot. So Paul Brown slipping through. Now he's in 3rd. Gomez back to the 4th spot. So we've got the front 4 nose to tail here on lap 112. Now I would imagine these guys are pretty much going to be content right now. Just try to get this run down to maybe that last 10 laps and start thinking about who you're going to work with. Givaldo Spindola running in the 7th position. He is 1 lap down. The rest of the crew behind him out of the race. Got caught up in that warp incident. Lucas Simpfer running in the 6th position. I think he's got a boogered up race car. That car just does not seem to be up to speed. Jesus Iglesias a little bit faster, but he doesn't have any help, so he is 9.8 seconds off the race lead, running in 5th. Almeida the leader, Brown second, Bardelli Jr. is third. Actually, Bardelli Jr. up to the second position, Brown is third. Gomez in the 4th spot. These guys start getting a little racy, and Thiago Gomez will move right on past. He'll take that position. You're on lap 115, starting to work this outside line a little bit. Almeida definitely wants to see them get a little racy behind him. Give them a little comfort. Take those guys take each other out. Maybe not wreck each other, but at least get racy, take them out of contention for the race win. He would like that. But on the other hand, Ricardo Almeida likes to race for it. He wants to see maybe somebody come up here and give him a good fight for the finish. One thing about Ricardo and all the races I've watched, the thing that I take home from him is that he is one of the best at recovering from adversity. I mean, he finds himself sometimes, maybe involved in something where he has to come down and get some repair, start in the back of the field, but somehow by the time the race is coming to a finish, Ricardo Almeida is up front. Thiago Gomez having a good night here, running in 4th. Paul Brown just ahead. Claudio Bardelli Jr. second. And Iglesias is using that outside line, maybe trying to see if he can't get a run off the turn. A little bit of a slingshot move. Rather than kind of bog down on the inside line, he uses that outside line and might be able to do a slingshot. He's definitely giving it a look. Paul Brown is in 3rd. Here we are, lap 120. Paul Brown down to the inside. These guys keep fighting away, and Almeida's going to run away with it. Paul Brown to the inside. He gets by Bardelli Jr. Now taking over P2. So swapping the spot, but Almeida now has opened up a little bit of a gap here with 30 laps to go. This guy's getting nose to tail. They might be able to run him down. This is the battle on the track. The front 4 all running together. Iglesias out there sort of by himself right now in 5th. Sifner 3 seconds back to him in the 6th position. We got a ton of cars who got caught up in that warping incident that are out of the race. Almeida the leader, Brown second, Bardelli Jr. third, Gomez in 4th. That's our front 4. They're starting to string out a little bit. Bardelli Jr. and Paul Brown, they need to get locked up here to try to close in on Ricardo Almeida. And they got a pretty sizable lead on the field as you see those guys go by. So big gaps. Lucas Sifner getting around. I think Jesus Iglesias is on pit lane. Sifner's made that pass. Iglesias now taking service. So Jesus Iglesias making a pit stop. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Now finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Paul Brown now closed in on Ricardo Almeida. He's gotten away from Bardelli Jr. Now Bardelli Jr.'s got to be thinking, hey, I got to make sure I keep this in line here so I don't fall out of the draft. If I lose those front two, then my chances of winning this race are probably over. So here at lap 127, Bardelli Jr. running in third. Almeida leading up this charge in first. Clear track ahead for the front three. Gomez has lost touch with these guys because he's coming down pit lane. So Gomez making a pit stop. Maybe these guys have to make pit stops here. Might see a late race pit stop. Some of these guys say, hey, you know what? I'll get it over with now. Make use of those tires. Spindola on pit lane. Gomez finishing up his pit stop now, coming back out on track. Now joining the racing surface in sixth. This has been a good race. We've just had that one incident that wasn't anybody's fault. It was just a warping incident. Other than that, we'd be caution-free. So 130 laps in, we've just had one caution flag. And like I was saying earlier, I just had a feeling it was going to be this way because these guys have so much experience racing in stock cars. There's just an etiquette. There's just a skill set that these guys have, regardless of whether it's stock cars or Indy cars here on these ovals. There's something to be said about the skills that, and just the situational awareness, the knowing the rules, those types of things here, and not only in the Indy cars, but also the stock cars, and way the rules plug-in works. A lot more having to pay attention to the instructions they're getting from the game that you don't see in these caution-free road course races. Here we are, 132 laps in. Now starting lap 133. Gomez now picking up the fifth spot as Simpner has made his pit stop. So Gomez now in P5, and he's got a little work to do. Now I gotta wonder, man, are these guys gonna have to come down pit lane? I think they will, but Bardelli Jr. is the first one to make that choice to come down pit lane. So Bardelli Jr. here on lap 134 coming in to take service. So that means I think these other guys are going to have to come down. And look at that, Almeida to the inside. He's coming down pit lane. So Ricardo Almeida's come down pit lane. There was almost an accident there. So Paul Brown almost ran into the back of Ricardo Almeida. I don't know if there was an announcement he was going to pit, but this is, oh, wow. That was tight. That was tight as Almeida and Paul Brown may have had some issues. Paul Brown may have had some issues coming off track to come down pit lane. Almeida now finishing up his pit stop. Paul Brown has had some problems, I think, coming off the track to come down pit lane. Let's take a look here as Paul Brown comes off the track and gets a little sideways. He might have sped. Man, did you see that? I'll tell you what, that was, he got sideways right there and keeps from getting into the wall, but he might have gotten caught speeding. As Almeida the leader, Paul Brown in second. I'm not hearing anything out of Paul Brown, whether there was a speeding penalty or not. I may have missed it on the readout. Almeida the leader, Paul Brown second, Bardelli Jr. is 0.7 of a second back in third. I think we're going to have a three-way battle here for the finish. Pit stops are over. Can Bardelli Jr. tag onto the back of these guys? He needs a little help here. He's got to keep it so narrow into a little bit of a tunnel there in the slipstream. And he's dropping back. 0.8 of a second back, so he is losing time on these guys. Now what he wants to see them do is get side by side and start racing it out. Almeida now, two-way battle here. Almeida and Paul Brown. Maybe an outside shot right now for Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's now a second back. Out of the slipstream for him. These guys now going to battle it out for the win. Here 139 laps in. Now on lap 140. On board with Paul Brown in that second screen there as he is all over the back of Ricardo Almeida. Almeida wants to hold him off here on lap 142. But I would imagine Paul Brown's going to give it a shot. They are coming up on some lap traffic. Get a two-way battle for the finish. A little bit of lap traffic coming up. P1, P2. Lucas Simpfer going to let these guys go, I think. He's down to the inside. He's going to let these guys go around on the outside. Almeida gets by. Paul Brown behind Simpfer. He wants to get by, maybe to take a shot here. Maybe try to get Simpfer to work with him. That could help him out. Simpfer to the outside. Going to leave the door open for Paul Brown to get by. Racing etiquette right there. Almeida and Brown. 1, 2. Five laps to go. Brown to the outside. Giving it a look. Still working that outside. Simpfer giving some help. Now dropping down to the inside line. Simpfer's a lap down, and he'd probably like to get back on the lead lap. He drops out of it. Paul Brown now battling it out. Simpfer drops off and lets those guys battle it out. I don't know whether he got into the wall or what the deal is, or he just wanted to get out of the fight. Did not want to affect the outcome. Now we got a two-way battle here for the win. How's this going to work out? This is a dogfight right now. Ricardo Almeida. Paul Brown. Paul Brown to the outside, giving it a little look. Did he get what he needs? He might need to go down to the inside line. Not much of a slipstream there for him. He's still up on the outside line fighting. Almeida has the advantage. 2 laps to go. Can Almeida hold on and hold off a charge by Paul Brown? Paul Brown back to the outside again. Cannot get the run he needs coming off the or through the turn. He's going to need to go to the inside. Cross the start-finish line. We'll have one to go. Ricardo Almeida and Paul Brown going to fight it out for the win here at Texas. Almeida blocking down there on that white line, holding that white line. Not blocking, but holding on to that line. Paul Brown to the inside, trying to get by Ricardo Almeida. Is he going to hold him off through the tri-oval? Ricardo Almeida gets the win. Paul Brown finishes in second. What a battle there. What a battle. So congratulations to Ricardo Almeida on getting the win here at Texas. So congratulations to Ricardo Almeida on getting the win. And he's tearing up the turf at Vegas. So congratulations to him. Doing the donuts in the grass. Good race, really was. And Ricardo Almeida getting the win here in the IndyCar Series. In a special event. That was an exciting race, man. Really came down to some pit strategy, didn't it? Did a great job. Fun race here tonight. And in the end, Ricardo Almeida had the secret sauce. So that was a good race. Special event. Turned out well, other than the warping incident. We'll take a look at the final results here tonight. The winner tonight is Ricardo Almeida. Paul Brown finishes in second. Bardelli Jr. battles for a third-place finish. Thiago Gomez, good run there for him, finishes in fourth. Lucas Simpner rounding out the top five. Jesus Iglesias and Givaldo Spindola finished sixth and seventh. John Stanley, Will Dunbar, and Arthur Vieta rounding out the top 10. So that was a quick little end to the session. Got a interesting positioning on that picture there. We'll have to fix. So congratulations, Ricardo Almeida. I got Richard Almeida up there. Let's get that fixed. A lot to do, man, in the broadcast. I run the show, baby. I'm entitled to a mistake once in a while, I think. We'll see if we can't get Ricardo Almeida up here in the booth with us to have a chat on this great win here at Indy. All right, we're joined in the booth here with Ricardo Almeida, and a big win at Vegas. A little bit of a surprise race this weekend. Congratulations.
Yeah, very last-minute race. When I see that, whoa, let's do it.
Yeah, I figured you'd be out to grace us with your presence here tonight.
Yeah, I have some issues with the rFactor too. I don't know, something happened, but apparently deleted some files, so I cannot connect it. So, what's happening here? Finally, it works.
Well, I tell you, other than that warping incident, we had a caution-free race. That's the only thing that brought out the caution flag. Was really not a driver error thing. And I was saying, when I was planning on making this race, that I thought this race would end up being a few cautions, if any, because of the experience of the stock car guys, and then also our drivers that are going to really want to run in this race and do a lot of oval racing.
Yeah, I'm expecting at least one or two yellows, but no, it's only the warping. The first part, as running in front, not pushing too much, but pushing to make a hole with the third place car. So like that, with two guys, it's easier, And at one point, Paul passed me. I didn't insist. I say, since I was in front at the beginning of the race, he's probably saving a tons of fuel. So I decided, let's try it. Couple things, okay, it's not working so well. So let's go behind him and save some fuel too. Just make sure we can pit like together again, or maybe a lap later for me. But when the pit stops happens, he was right in front of me, and I was playing with my mixture, and I just lift my eyes and I see him spinning. So whoa! So I pressed the button, but instead of pressing the button of the pit stop, the speed limiter, I pressed the mixture button. So speeding. Oh no! So I was.
Well, you got a break though, really. You were at the tail end of the lead lap, and you got a break there on that with that caution to get back.
Actually, I was like 30. I think it was 37 seconds to the lead, but with my pace, passing people, some people understand to follow me. We go faster. I bring down to 10 seconds from what I see. So, wow, 10 seconds with 50 laps to go. Now the warping happens. So I don't know if I catch them or not, but it maybe will be close.
Well, great job, man. A little bit of a surprise race here, but we have a big one coming up in a couple weeks. I don't know what your plans are, but Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the INDYCAR Dallara IR18, the official new mod.
I don't think I can make it this one, but I'll see. We'll see.
Oh, that's too bad, man. We'd love to have you, but congratulations on the win. You always do a great job here in the IndyCars.
Thank you very much. Very fun. Thanks to Paul and the other drivers. Very clean. Very fun.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.
That is Ricardo Almeida joining us up in the booth, and says he's not going to be able to come to the Indianapolis race, but who knows, man. Plans change. We'd love to have him. That's coming up on May the 28th. Bushwhacker Series will be back in action on May the 13th. Race number 7, 135 laps from a great little track, Memphis International. And it is 7th race on the season. This is the first time we will visit Memphis. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be a great one. He was out there driving some laps last night, testing it out. And that's ready to go. That'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, May the 13th. I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the YouTube channel. A little bit of a surprise broadcast for you tonight. And we had a good turnout. Sorry, we had that one little warping incident, but we had a caution-free race otherwise. And I had a feeling it was going to be that way with these guys. Very familiar with the ovals, and it really is a skill set that is, I think, taken for granted sometimes with some of the other racers. But hey, thanks so much for coming in. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. There's a donate button up there if you'd like to make a donation straight through PayPal. There's a link up to the top of the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Share my videos with all your friends. And hey, I think I'm going to get out of here. We'll talk to you later, boys and girls. I am out of here.